Hi, welcome to this demo of Hive. In this demo, we're going to be covering navigating Hive, editing content, creating content, and managing the table of contents for a course in Hive. Let's get started. Let's get started with navigating Hive. Here I'm logged in to Hive, and the first thing I see is my dashboard. In my dashboard, I have the course directory, which lists all the courses that I am actively a member of within Hive. I can click on the course name to enter into that course. Here I'm going to click into Health 105. When we enter a course, we land on the course's table of contents page. This is identical to the student view with a couple of key differences. Namely, we have the settings menu here, which we'll touch on later. We also have different buttons to edit the table of contents and edit different pages as well. But apart from that, we have an identical view as the student. We see the table of contents for the course, and we can jump to any of the different pages in our course. In this case specifically, I'm going to click on 1C and go to that page. Now we're viewing a specific page within the course, and our header has changed a little bit. The key differences here is we have an edit menu here. We also have different ways of navigating the course, including table of contents drawer. If I wanted to get back to my table of contents for this course, I would just find the name of the course here in the header and click on that. And if I wanted to get back to my dashboard, I can click on the Hive logo here in the header. So now let's take a look at the editing process. So I've been tasked with editing a page on my course, Health 105. So I'll go into that course. And from here, I have a couple of different ways of navigating to find the edit interface. I can use the table of contents, find the page I want to edit, and click on the edit button available directly from the table of contents listing. Or I can go into the page itself, and from here, find the edit button or the edit menu from the page header and click on edit page. That's what I'm going to do now. Now I've loaded up the editing interface, and we'll touch more on what this page does later on. But for now, what we want to do is underneath the defining mental health heading and paragraph, we want to add a subheading called Why Definitions Matter with a paragraph as well. So I'm just going to copy the content from a text file that I have. And I'm going to, I just zoomed out a little bit. I'm going to find the end of this paragraph and hit enter to create a new line. I'm just going to hit Control V to paste the content I had copied. Now I'm going to find the header. In this case, it's a paragraph right now, but I want to convert that to a header. So I'll find the icon, heading, and from here, I can also change this to an H3 if I wanted to. The paragraph underneath it is fine, and so I've made my changes, and at this point I want to save them. We have the Save and Continue Editing button. As the name suggests, I can save my changes as is and continue editing. We have the Save button, which saves the page for us and takes us back to where we were. And we have the Cancel button, which doesn't save anything and just takes us back to where we were before. I'm going to go ahead and click Save. That should load up the page again. And from here, I can see the change that I made. Now what's interesting is that any changes we make are immediately available to anybody that views this page. So if a student was viewing this page, they would see this new content I just added. Now let's take a look at the process of creating pages. So back in Health 105, I can scroll down and see that the page 1D is missing from my table of contents. So I have 1C and 1E. I do have a Word document here, which includes the copy for this page. So I am ready to create that page now. From my table of contents for the course, I'll go into the course settings menu and find the content library button. Clicking on that will take me to the course's content library, which will list all of the content that's available in this course. As you can see here, there are 126 pieces of content in this course, and I have the option from the content library to filter and search and find and edit those pages and content. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new page. So we'll find the Create Page button, we'll click on that, which will take us to our editor. And from our editor, we have a blank screen, which we can start to populate. You'll notice that we have a blank canvas here, which allows us to start adding content. And so what I'm going to do to simplify this is just go into my Word document, hit Control A to select everything, Control C to copy, and then back in Hive, I will paste that in to my editor. And from here, I can see all of the different pages, the videos, the different text, headings, paragraphs, lists, all of it has come through. Not everything comes through perfectly, so make sure to review. But we can start with this as a kind of a starting place, if you will. Now, apart from just adding this text, we also want to add an image right underneath the diagnosing a mental health condition heading here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to click on the paragraph here, create a new line, and then in this line that we just new empty line that we created, we want to insert a block. And as you interact and learn how to use the Hive editor, you'll notice that there's a lot of different ways to do this. I'm just going to show you the most simplest way for now, which is to use this click on the block inserter button here, which is a big blue button with a plus sign. When I click on that, it will open up the blocks library for me, which I will then be able to just browse and find the block type that I want to insert into my page. Now in this case, what we want to add is media, and we're going to find image, and I'm just going to go ahead and drag and drop that into the location I want to place an image. From here, I'll have the option to browse the media library to insert the image here. I'm going to go ahead and click on Media Library, which will open up the Media Library interface for the course. If I scroll down a little bit, I will see all the media that is associated with this course. Now, if your course is something that has been built with other folks, you might see a lot of images here or some images, but if it's a brand new course that you're building, you might not see any images in here at all. You can select any of the images in your library and insert them into this image block that we just added. Or if we scroll up a little bit, we can find the drag and drop area to upload a new image. I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now. So from my folder here, I'm going to grab this image, drag it into the area, and from here I can provide the alternative text. I'll hit save when I'm ready, and that has created a record or entry in my media library for this course. And I can go ahead and hit insert, and that places that image directly into my page here. Now I have various options here. From here I can add a caption. So I'll find the add caption button. Notice that my cursor is under the image here, and now I can add a caption. You'll notice that depending on the block I am editing or interacting with, I have different settings. So if I click on this paragraph block directly above the image, we can see that I can bold, italicize, insert a link, and some other options here. If I click into the heading, my toolbar changes. If I click into the image, my toolbar changes even further. The same is true for the block settings. So on the right-hand panel over here, I have lots of different block settings for image. The block settings for heading are slightly different. The block settings for text or paragraph are slightly different. Each block type that you add into a page will have varying different configuration and toolbars. So that's something to keep in mind. Lastly, we're going to go ahead and save this page. And just like block configuration, we also have page configuration. And right now, the most important part of that is just to add a title. So I'll go ahead and grab the title from the page, paste it in, and hit save. And just like that, our page has been created. It's been added to our content library for the course, and we can click on it to see that page, including the image that we uploaded. Now let's look at the process of managing the table of contents for our course. So in the last section, we created a new page, 1D, but if we go back into our table of contents for the course, we will note that our table of content listing for module 1 currently doesn't include 1D, the new page that we created. We have to manage the structure of our table of contents separately from our content library. If the content library lists all of the pages, all of the content, the table of contents is where we create the structure. So we can easily find our table of contents edit link from the table of contents page. When we click on that, that will open the table of contents editor, allowing us to modify the units and the pages within those units. So here we'll find the unit module 1 and all the pages here in that unit. We'll go ahead and click edit. And from here, we see the listing of those pages, and we want to select more content. We'll click on the select content button, which will load up the select content window. And from here, we can find all of the different content that has been created in this course, and we can select the content we want to add into this specific unit. So 1D is the page that we just created. We'll go ahead and click that check mark. We'll find the add selected button at the very bottom of this window. Now we'll add that listing, that page item directly at the top of our unit. And what we have to do is just drag and drop that to where we want it positioned, in this case between 1C and 1D. Sorry, 1C and 1E. We'll go ahead and click save. And just like that, our table of contents listing has been updated. Students will be able to see this change immediately, and so they'll be able to access this course or this page immediately. And of course, it is available in the drawer and any other way that a student might navigate the course as well. And that was a quick tour of Hive CMS. Thank you for watching.